Hey guys, welcome to another video. We are doing chapter 1 study guide. Sorry my hair is super messy tonight, but just trying to get this video done before bedtime. So let's go ahead and get started. We are starting out with problem number 1. In an orchestra, there are 42 woodwind players and 56 brass players. What is the ratio of woodwind to brass written as a fraction in simplest form? Well, I've repeatedly told you guys that for my tests, I am not requiring you guys to do simplest form. I would like for you to at least attempt it, but if you would like to put the letter that you think is correct along with the unreduced answer, I will take either one that is correct. So, for example, my ratio of woodwind to brass players would be 42 to 56. I would accept that as an answer. I would like you to try and reduce this. If we divided both of these numbers by 7, okay? Sorry, my cousin's texting me. Okay. Okay, so 42 divided by 7 gives me 6, and 56 divided by 7 gives me 8. And again, I can reduce 6 over 8 by dividing them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my final answer should be 3/4. But if you've got 6 over 8 or 42 over 56, I will accept any of these three answers. Again, try and reduce if you can, but if not, I will accept your ratio without reducing it. Okay, number 2, it says the table shows the number of trees at the citrus orchards. What is the ratio of orange trees to the total number of trees? Well, we see here that we've got 12 orange trees, and it wants orange trees to come first. It says orange to the total. So we've got 12 orange trees. Put OT for orange trees. Okay, and then we want the total number of trees. To do that, we need to add up all of the trees. So we've got 4 plus 2, which gives me 6, and 3 plus 1 plus 1, which gives me 5. So my total is 56. On your test, I'm going to have a bonus here. If you can write this ratio, actually the two ratios that you're given on your test, if you can write them by explaining them, okay? And what that means is for this one, it would be 12 out of 52 total trees are orange trees. This would be your explanation, but it is only a bonus. I'm not taking any points away if you don't have that written down, okay? Again, same thing on this problem. If you can reduce this, that would be fantastic. So if we've got 12 over 52, both of these numbers are even, so I know they can both be divided by 2. Okay, 12 divided by 2 gives me 6, and 52 divided by 2 gives me 26. If you don't know that 52 divided by 2 is 26, then you can divide it off to the side. Again, 6 and 26 are also even, so we can divide them again by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 26 divided by 2 is 13. So my final answer is 3 over 13. I did something wrong here. Didn't I? No. Yes? Oh, no. Let me rework this. It may be that the book is, the answer choices are wrong. No, because I wrote 52 and it's 56. That's why we go back and check our answers. Everybody makes mistakes, even me. Okay, so let's try this again. How about I'm just going to erase it all? How about that? Okay. All right, so 12 over 56, how about? And my answer would be 12 out of 56 trees are orange trees. So sorry about that. 12 over 56 I would accept as an acceptable answer. But you can also reduce it Okay, 12 divided by 2 gives me 6, and 56 divided by 2 gives me 28. And again, these are both divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3, and 28 divided by 2 gives me 4. So 3 over 14. Now that is a correct answer, okay? But again, I would take 6 over 28 or 12 over 56. See, sometimes reducing comes in handy when it helps you figure out that you did some of the problem wrong. Okay, anywho, let's move on to the next one. It's getting late. All right, so we've got 350 kilometers. I cut off the instructions for this one, but it did say that we needed to make this a unit rate. Okay, remember unit rates all have a denominator of 1. Okay, so if this has a denominator of 1, all right, I told you guys just to write the bottom unit over here on the bottom again, and I would like you to put a 1 next to it, and then just divide top divided by bottom. So 350 divided by 5. 5 goes into 35 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract and we get 0. Bring down our 0, and 5 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract and we get 0. So my answer is 70 kilometers for 1 hour. I don't know why I put an S on hour. F is our answer here. Okay, this one, we've got $80 for 16 tickets. And we are trying to get a unit rate, which means we need a denominator of 1. And then just divide top divided by bottom. 80 divided by 16. 16 goes into 80 an exact number of times. It actually goes into it 5 times, I believe. 5 times 6 is 30. Let's double check this. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and looky here. All right, so our answer is $5 for 1 ticket, which is answer choice C. All right, it took Javine 18 minutes to jog 4 laps. How many minutes did it take to jog each lap at this rate? Remember, when we see that word rate, we want to think unit rate. So we've got 18 minutes, 4 laps. We want to know how many minutes for 1 lap. So we can cross multiply and divide, or we can see that we divided by 4 here. So then we would need to divide by 4 up here. Okay, so 18 divided by 4. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract and we get 2. Put a decimal first, and then annex a 0 and bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract and we get 0. So our answer is 4.5 minutes for 1 lap, which is G. Okay, number 6. It says Kelly can type 120 words in 3 minutes. How many words can she type in just 1 minute? Okay, so again, we want a unit rate. Okay, so 120 words in 3 minutes. And we want to find out how many words that is for just 1 minute. Okay, so we divide top divided by bottom. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract and we get 0. Bring down our 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract and we get 0. So 40 words per minute. All right, number 7. The jumping team can jump 36 times in 9 seconds. At this rate, how many jumps can they make in 27 seconds? Okay, here's where you can cross multiply and divide, or we can multiply 9 times 3 to get 27, so then we can just multiply 36 times 3 to get our answer. So 36 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So that would be 108 jumps. All right, a customer at a raceway can drive around the track 54 times for $12. At this rate, how many times can the customer drive around the track for $8? Okay, so again, we can cross multiply and divide. Okay, there's nothing we can multiply or divide in our heads to get from 12 to 8. You can divide by or multiply by a fraction and get 8, but we wouldn't know that off the top of our head. So what we can do is we can reduce 54 over 12 by dividing them both by 6. 54 divided by 6 gives you 9, and 12 divided by 6 gives you 2. And then we can go from 2 to 8 by multiplying times 4. So then we multiply 9 times 4 to get our answer. And 9 times 4 gives us 36, which is A. Okay, another way you could have solved this was setting it up like a proportion. And you would have just had to cross multiply. 12 times x is 12x. 54 times 8 would go on this side. You would multiply 54 times 8 and then divide that answer by 12. You would get 36 as your final answer. Okay, number 9, it says a China shop receives a shipment of 125 dishes in 5 boxes. At this rate, how many dishes will it receive in 15 boxes? So we've got 125 dishes, 5 boxes, and then we've got 15 boxes here. So 125 dishes, 5 boxes, and we've got 15 boxes. Remember, I want to put 15 boxes on the bottom because this says boxes. So we need to make sure that boxes go with boxes. It's the same unit, okay? And we're trying to find out how many dishes goes on top, right? So again, we could have cross multiplied and solved for x, or you can multiply 5 times 3 to get 15, and then you would need to do the same on the top. You'll need to do 125 times 3 to get our answer. 5 times 3 gives me 15. 3 times 2 gives me 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. So that's 375 dishes. Okay, there are 207 students in 9 classes. At this rate, how many students are in 6 classes? Okay, so we want to find out how many students there are in 6 classes. So you can cross multiply and divide. That's what I would do in this instance. So 207 times 6 and 9 times x, which is 9x. So 207 times 6. 7 times 6 gives me 42. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 6 times 2 is 12. So I got 1,242 on the left and 9x on the right. We need to divide both sides by 9 now. 9 divided by 9 cancels, and we're left with x is equal to 1,242 divided by 9 is going to give me my answer. Nine goes into 12 once. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract and we get 3. Bring down our 4. 9 goes into 34 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract. Sorry, my hand hurts. Subtract and we get 7. Bring down our 2. And 9 goes into 72 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72. Subtract and we get 0. So our answer is 138. Now, remember, that does equal x, but we need to go back and read the question and see what the question was asking us. So the question says, at this rate, how many students are in 6 classes? So there are 138 students in 6 classes. I can't write at all. Okay? All right, number 11, 48 feet of fabric makes 8 blankets. And we want to know how many blankets can be made from 12 yards of fabric, okay? Hopefully, you will not get tricked like this too many times. But this did go from feet to yards. So first we need to convert the yards to feet. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. So to find out how many feet is in 12 yards, we need to multiply 12 times 3, and that gives us 36. So there are 36 feet in 12 yards. So we want to know how many blankets we can make from 36 feet. Okay, so now I'm going to, I think the easiest might be if we reduced 48 over 8. Okay, we can divide 48 over 8. We can divide both of these by 8. 48 divided by 8 gives me 6. And 8 divided by 8 gives me 1. And 6 times 6 gives me 36. So 1 times 6 gives me my answer. So we can make 6 blankets, okay, with 36 feet of fabric, or 12 yards of fabric. For this question, you could also cross multiply and divide by 48. That may be a little bit more challenging, but you could certainly do it. Here's where all of those things I had taught you in this chapter come into play. I do always say that whatever works best for you, that's the one I want you to do. And whatever you're most comfortable with, sure, go ahead with that one. But there are certain problems that make these other strategies that we use come into play, and these other strategies may be more useful in certain problems than others. Okay, but again, you could have gotten the correct answer no matter which way you did this problem, given the strategies that we learned in this chapter. I did skip number 12. I'm going to be doing that with you guys in class. That one's a little bit tricky, and I wanted to be able to explain it in person and make sure you really understand it. So we're going to go ahead on to problem 13. Okay, it says Liam practiced piano 24 times in 4 weeks. His brother practiced piano 12 times in 14 days. Remember, this says weeks and this says days. That's important. Are the rates at which each brother practiced equivalent, which means are they equal? And it says explain your reasoning. So I'm going to put 24 times in 4 weeks. And it says this other brother practiced 12 times in 14 days. 14 days is 2 weeks. There's 7 days in 1 week. So 14 days, there is 2 weeks, okay? To find out if these are equivalent, you can just cross multiply. You can also divide them, and you could also reduce both of them, okay? If they reduce to the same answer, they're equivalent. If you divide them both and you get the same answer, they're equivalent. And if you cross multiply them and get the same answer, they're equivalent. So 2 times 24 gives me 48. And 4 times 12 gives me 48. So yes, they are equal because their cross products are equal. And when we cross multiply, that's what we call cross products. Products are the answers to a multiplication problem. So when we cross multiply, we call these cross products. Okay? So yes, they're equal because their cross products are equal. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Remember, study, 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 and I'll see you guys tomorrow.